Welcome to another interview presented by Alabama Wrestling Forums. I'm Jackson Bast here with 7A, 138-pound champ Zander Fields. How you doing today, Zander?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing pretty well. So let me start out by asking, what got you into wrestling?
It was like eighth grade year, and I just finished football. I was pretty small, and I looked in the gym and I saw some dudes wrestling, but they're all smaller guys, and I was like, this is probably for me. I'm getting whooped in football. Let's try this wrestling out, and then from there it was just the greatest sport ever. It's awesome.
Now, I do have to comment. What position did you play in football, man? You were like a
Cornerback.
wideout? You were what?
No, I was the corner.
Oh, yeah, that's a
That's
tiny
what
guy role. That's a tiny guy role.
yeah.
But see, you're 138 now. I'm trying to picture you probably like 96 pounds.
Dude, less than 100 pounds my eighth grade year probably.
So, you started you were in eighth grade and you moved your way to high school, and, you got Coach Harris, who's a stellar coach, him and Coach Fanning over there. The more known wrestling group over in the Huntsville area is definitely Grissom with Coach Cesaro prior to Huntsville gaining its traction.
Mm.
So, what's going on in that room that made you guys kind of like shoot to the top in the last 10 years?
Well, we got Coach Harris. He's one of the smartest coaches I've ever known. I mean, he knows things exactly. He knows guys' weight, when they can drop weight, when they can go up. He predicts lineups, and the technique that he teaches, he pulls it from everywhere. He's not just, some of these coaches in Alabama, I don't want to call it primitive, but it's just like not progressive. So he's really looking out there. He's getting guys from everywhere, coaches from the north, like places like Ohio and Pennsylvania, just coming down, teaching us technique. He's also got us in this wrestling mindset thing, and I think that's what really turned around the program and made us better. I mean, the physical aspect of it is awesome, but if you don't have the mental game, then nothing is compared to the mental game of it.
So, you're around your eighth grade year, and then your freshman year, you guys had like 4 really stud kids on that team.
Yeah.
Four or more, but you had Jaeger Clark, you had
Yeah.
Elijah Morrow,
Yeah.
Ethan Curtis was there your eighth grade year. All those
Jawan
guys, huh?
Dowdy.
Jawan Dowdy, yeah. I mean, all those guys. How did that kind of help you guys in the room kind of start you off in your career?
Well, I remember it was the reason why I wanted to be a state champion. I remember I started watching it. Coach Harris invited me to the finals. It was like the end of our JV season or whatever, and he was like, you should come to the state tournament. I had no idea what the state tournament was. Like, I just didn't know the importance of it at all. So we were watching. I just watched Jaeger. He had a good match, but he ended up losing. And then I watched Brooks win his 3rd title and just like dominated the guy. And I was like, that's what I want to do. That's what I want to be. I want to be a state champ.
I remember skirmishers because a bunch of those ATA guys would come down to AWC back when I was in middle school, and they were whooping butt just as much as the AW kids were.
Oh yeah.
But I'm gonna bring in ATA to say, you're with JP Prince over at ATA. What does JP kind of bring into molding your wrestling style?
He really helped me out with my neutral game. From 8th grade, I've struggled with my neutral game. It's not my best. But then we started consistently going. I started consistently going to the club, working on my neutral every day, my offense. What can I do from there? And the attack that I scored on like 90% of the guys, JP taught me. And I got great partners at AT. I got Gabe Sweat. He's a state finalist at 152 at 6A. So, good guys and a great coach, just ultimate combination.
So obviously you can't wrestle with them, in season. You can. You go to 2 tournaments, but what is the importance of going to? I know you've been to preseason nationals. You've been to Virginia Beach. What are the importances of going to those tournaments in the offseason?
It's a real eye opener. It's a real eye opener on how good guys can get and how good guys can be. I remember I went to preseason nationals in Iowa with JP, and I ended up pulling the number 1 seed, like my second match or something. And it was, it was tough. He was really good. I think he was from Oklahoma, but I think it's important that especially the Alabama guys go to these tournaments and make a name for themselves because, even if we're not technically there, like technically sound as these guys, and we can still put a beating on them and then make them remember that we're from Alabama and we're on the come up.
Definitely. So obviously you had a devastating loss in your finals last year in the state. What did you kind of change into this year, knowing you had to be a state champ?
I didn't want to feel that feeling ever again. It was absolutely terrible. I hate it. I'm happy for Nick that he won, but at the same time, that sucked. And my mindset wasn't really there. I really worked on my mindset and my confidence, and I would just watch all these wrestler interviews, and they would be confident, and they would just like talk about like how they're gonna win, and they knew in their mind that they were gonna be a champ and they were gonna win, and that's what I added to my arsenal, and that's how I won.
So you mentioned wrestler interviews. Is there anybody in particular that you watched that kind of like grabbed your attention?
Definitely. I definitely watch a lot of Kyle Dake and Spencer Lee. Those are the two guys that stand out.
Really? Is Spencer Lee your favorite college wrestler right now?
I don't know. It kind of changes, but it's either Ironman or gotta show love to DeSanto though. So.
I see. So you're a big Iowa guy, huh?
Oh yeah.
Those are some guys I don't think I want to be across the mat from consistently.
Oh no.
So, obviously, it was your senior year. What are your plans going into college?
I'm definitely planning on wrestling in college. We're still looking around at some options. It'd be great if I could wrestle D1. I'm really trying to get into that, level. And if I get into a room with a bunch of D1 guys, it's pretty much guaranteed you're going to get better. So that's what I'm really pushing for. But, my window is pretty open. I'm going on some visits next week. And, we'll see from there.
You thought a little bit about what you might major in? What do you want to do after college?
I'm pretty sure I'm going to join the military. I'm going to be it's either Air Force right now or the Army. But, yeah, definitely going military after college.
You trying to get into like Air Force or Army or Navy?
Yeah, something like that.
I don't know about Navy. Kerry Collat, I've heard he's a pretty crazy coach.
Yeah, I don't know if he's – yeah.
I've met the Army coach. He's pretty cool. He did a camp at UT Chat year. So obviously you won your state title this year. Tell us what you're thinking going into every match.
Start of the tournament, I pretty much in the back of my head, I was obviously nervous like everyone, but I knew this was the year. I wasn't going to let it happen again, not going to be runner-up again. I never wanted to feel that again. So, I was pretty laser focused in. I took it match by match, though. I never looked ahead of anybody. So I had like James Clemens first. Then I had Spain Park. Then I had Vestavia, and then I had Hewitt. And there was a complete difference between my finals match, last year versus this year, like mentally wise. I wasn't ready junior year. I was a little too nervous, and I didn't wrestle my match. And then this year I was like 100% ready. I was zoned in. I was ready to go.
So, we talked before the interview about your, you have a younger brother. What are you trying to show him being a model wrestler?
I'm trying to get him the best that he can get. He's a super hard worker. He's one of the hardest workers in the room. He's always doing extra stuff. I want him to be a 3-timer. He lost, I think he lost in the quarters this year to Grissom. And I'm just trying to, teach him everything that I had to learn the hard way, get him to learn it the easy way, and so he knows. So, yeah.
So, we talked about your brothers. What are you looking forward to the most for the future of Huntsville wrestling?
I'm looking forward to our future team state title. It's coming. Give us a couple years, we'll get there. We'll finally get there. It'll be the first one ever.
You gonna call a year out? What year you think?
Probably
24?
2023.
2023?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. 2023, Huntsville's winning state, guys.
Oh, yeah.
So I've got a segment on my show where I ask the hot button topics going on in Alabama wrestling. So I'm going to start out by asking you, do you think wrestling in Alabama should be one division or multiple divisions? And if multiple divisions, how do you think it should be split up?
I thought about this a lot, and I'm like kind of split because it's like, if it's all one division, the guy who wins it is like the best dude in the state, and obviously, but I also think it's fair that we split it up because some of those schools just don't have the resources that a 7A school like Huntsville has. Like, we're pretty big, and some place like New Hope, they're good, but they just don't have the money that we have and that we're provided. So I think I'm a little split, but right now I don't think Alabama's developed enough to where we could have one division. I think right now it could stay split up, but in the future, if we keep on improving and getting better, we could definitely go one division.
Awesome. So my next question is, do you think kids should be able to go to club in season?
Definitely. That's one thing that really sucked. I don't know. Like, you'd have a practice and you'd be like, I want to get some extra practice in, but you can't. The rules, they are what they are. I know in different states, like pretty sure up in New York, you can I think you can go to club I don't know, in season whenever. So it kind of sucks, but I also get it at the same time. Some guys just don't have access to it, but it's whatever.
I guess you're a little mad about that. I was pretty pissed when I couldn't do that in season.
Yeah, it sucks.
And I get where they're coming from with the whole not everybody has resources, but from the multiple athletes that I've talked to, they're telling me, well, I have kids in my club who are willing to drive an hour, 2 hours to get to practice. So really, you have no excuse.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at all the people over at Asha. I'm also a little mad about that. I'm not mad about it. I'm mad that they didn't give us girls wrestling, but it's okay.
Yeah, that
flag football, which I'm
think
happy that the women got flag football. Don't get me wrong, but
I think if we have women's wrestling, then that's just gonna get us better as a state faster. So, whenever they decide to do that, I hope they decide to do it soon because it's needed. It would be pretty awesome if they did it.
So, you mentioned girls wrestling. How do you, we saw the first girls state this year. What do you think we should do to maybe kind of further girls wrestling a little faster or just further girls wrestling in general?
I think there's when you think about wrestling, you think boys. You don't really think girls, And I think if we change some of that, the regular norm of wrestling to everybody can do it, then I think that's gonna draw a lot more attention to women's wrestling.
Does Coach Harris plan on having a female girls team over at Huntsville soon?
I actually don't know. I don't know if we have enough interest, but maybe. I don't really know though for sure.
I know we live in Alabama and it's the Bible Belt, so there's a lot of people who are like, well, girls shouldn't wrestle.
Yeah.
But those people, you should wrestle. Wrestle, it's fun. It's awesome. It's the greatest sport in the world.
The greatest sport. Awesome.
So, Zander, before I let you go, is there anything you want to say to my viewers? Maybe anybody you want to shout out?
Shout out Skinny Legend, Zach Sanger. Shout out JT Massinelli. Shout out Hunter Crane. Shout out Brandon Clark. Shout out the whole wrestling team in Huntsville. shout out Coach Harris and all my coaches, and just keep working hard.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for doing this. I always have a lot of fun doing this. And you guys, if you ever need anything, or if any of those people, because I know most of those people, need anything, just let me know. Other than that, thank you guys so much for watching. And, well, yeah, awesome. Thank you so much, Zander, and thank you to all you guys for all your support. A couple things to note. One, we're going to start doing more of the whiteboard kind of stuff, which would be really cool. And we're going to have a lot more of those promotional videos to promote events and athletes, everything that's going on. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and stay cool out in wrestling.